Hello and welcome back to Dano Does Things. My name is Dano. It is nice to see you here back on my channel. So you probably already know what I'm doing today because you either clicked the thumbnail or read the title, but let me give you a little background on this project. So I live in Canada and it is very cold here right now because it is winter. It was like a true minus 35 or something. It is not nice. I also work from home, so I don't go outside a lot, but I do get chilly in my house. I could just turn up the thermostat, but I don't really want a huge heating bill, and we're trying to save the earth here, okay? So instead, to keep myself cozy while I've been working from home, I've been using what I call a blanket skirt. I'm sure other people who work from home also do this, but I usually wear like a nice-ish top and then leggings because no one's seeing my legs and I might as well be comfy in my own home. But when I get cold, I want another layer, so hence the blanket skirt. The blanket skirt is actually just a long scarf that I've been tying around my waist. I will show you. Big scarf. Blanket skirt. So scarf tied around my waist is how I've been keeping warm. But I thought we can do better than this. Don't get me wrong, it's stylish, it's great, but it's a little long, so when I get up to walk around, I like trip, and it's also pretty narrow, like a pencil skirt, so I like shuffle along. I also can't access my pockets, which is a real problem because I like pockets. So what I'm going to do is give this a bit of an update. It's basically going to be a wrap skirt made out of a very soft material with a lot of pockets. I have this plaid fabric that I've been wanting to use for a while. It's nice and soft, and I think I have just enough to make this blanket skirt, so let's start drafting a pattern. I'm gonna wear my blanket skirt while I do it because it's actually pretty cold, so.
Alright, I'll show you how to draft this on a miniature scale because I don't have a table big enough to show you in normal scale. It starts by drafting a quarter circle skirt. There are a lot of calculators on the web you can use to find the numbers you need. I can link to some down below. Start with a 90-degree angle or the corner of your paper. Measure down from the top left corner the length of your waist radius. Measure your length radius along the top as well and make a mark. Use the same radius length to mark a few points from the corner and then connect them in a curve. This will be your waistband. Then decide how long you want your skirt and measure that length down from the waistband. Again, make a few marks in between and connect it into a curve. This will be your hemline. Now that is a complete quarter circle skirt, but for the wrap skirt, we'll need to make a few modifications. The blanket skirt will be 3 panels, 1 full back panel, and then 2 front panels that will overlap. To make the back panel, fold your quarter circle skirt pattern in half. That is your back panel. For the front panels, take the discarded half and fold that in half again, so a quarter of your original pattern. Trace the side, top, and bottom of the panel. Then, since we want the wrap skirt to overlap at the front, we need to extend this panel about 2 or 3 inches and then draw a straight line to connect the front. Now you can leave it like that, but to make the wrap skirt a little easier to walk in and less bulky in the front, you can put a slight curve on the front of the panel. You only really need to make one of these panels and you can just flip it to get the other side, but just to show you how this is all going to go together, I'll cut out the last panel as well. The 2 front panels will be attached by the straight edge to the back panel, one on each side, so that the front will be left open. We're going to add 2 side pockets, which will be sewn directly into the side seams. Then over here we'll make a nice big front square pocket for your phone, and then I thought I would do some straps over here, but I ended up not, so don't worry about it. Now lay out your pattern pieces on your fabric and cut them out. Now this pattern doesn't include seam allowances, so make sure to add about 1 inch around each piece. You'll have to cut out the band and pockets as well, but we'll get into that. Okay, I have most of my pieces cut out now, so I can start assembling. I actually only had like this handful of scraps left after I cut it out, so I'm actually going to do the outside pocket in a contrasting color, so
we'll get to that. But otherwise, I have all my pieces. I have the back panel piece, so this is the half of the quarter circle skirt, and then I have my two side panel pieces, which are half of the quarter circle with the little 2 inches or so added to the front and then rounded at the bottom. So I have 2 of those. I also cut out a band that will be for the waistband. So this is 4 inches high or wide, 4 inches wide. And I wanted mine to be fairly long. So I wanted to be able to come around my waist and then go back around and tie in the back. So I did it twice my waist plus about 10 inches. Depending on how you want to tie yours or how long you want the bow to be, you can adjust the size of those. I didn't have quite enough to do one long piece, so I have 2 I'm going to have to put together there, but that's okay. I also cut out 4 of these pocket pieces. So there's 2 for each pocket. Those are the ones that are going to go in the side seams. I actually stole this pattern from another dress that I have, another dress pattern that I have, because I really like how big the pockets are on these, so I just grabbed that. So now we're going to start construction. What we're going to do first is attach the back half of the pocket to the back panel and the front half of the pocket to the front panel. That way, when we attach the front and back panels, the pockets will already be in there. And when we do the seam, we can just do the outside of the pocket as well and then continue the seam downward, and you'll have your pocket already in there. It's already like 8:30 p.m., but I might be able to get this done tonight. Let's go. So to quickly explain the pocket thing, and please don't come for my pattern matching. I know it's terrible, but I didn't have space to pattern match, so deal with it. So we'll take our 2 sides of the pockets, and we're going to measure down the same amount from the hip. Depending on how high your waist is will depend on how far down you want this. So I'm going to line up this pocket with this seam, and its opposite with this one. And then I'm going to stitch down both sides here. All right, so now I have all my pockets attached to the panels. I have 2 on either side of the back panel and 1 on each side seam of the front panels. I pressed the seams going towards the pockets, and now all we have to do is line up the side seams and the pockets, and then we'll be sewing all the way around. So we'll sew down the seam, around the pocket, and then down to the bottom to attach the sides.
Now these side seams are attached using a small straight stitch with the pockets right in there. Then I'm going to hem the whole skirt, including the front of the panels, using a simple double folded hem, easing the curve into the hem.
Okay, so now that the side seams are done, the pockets are in, and the hem is done, we're going to attach the waistband. I took my 2 shorter pieces and just attached them in the middle here with a French seam. And then I went ahead and got my iron out and folded this once in half. And then I folded each side in about 1/2 inch. So it makes this little sandwich here, which the top edge of the skirt will be sandwiched in between that. Also, to finish the edges, I've done one so far and I'll do the other one. I went ahead and I did a diagonal, I sewed diagonally along here to give this a little point with right sides facing together. Then I trimmed the end off. So now when I fold it out and we sew it along here, along the bottom edge, you'll get this sort of nice triangular point, triangular end to your tie. Now I already marked the middle of this skirt with a pin. So it's just going to be a matter of finding the middle of my band and lining it up. With this sort of almost touching the middle, sandwiched like that. And then I'm just going to do a stitch right along that edge there. Hopefully that makes sense. It's almost 10:30 now, so I might be talking crazy, but let's do it. Just a close-up of the band here. So like I said, you have the top edge of the skirt sandwiched between the two layers of the band, and then we'll just sew along this edge. There's definitely more professional ways to finish off a band, but this is a skirt that is also a blanket, so this is going to be great. I wasn't sure if I would have enough fabric to make a pocket out of the same fabric, but I had just enough left. So I cut out a square or rectangle that was big enough to fit my phone, plus a little bit of ease, plus an inch of seam allowance on every side. So making a square pocket is pretty easy. You just need to fold down the top part 1 inch. If this edge, I have the selvage edge here, but if yours is just a raw edge, you should finish that as well. Just press that down 1 inch and then press these corners in so you make a 45-degree angle, and then press in the sides so that they match up with that corner, and then press up the bottoms so again they match up with that corner. And that's your pocket. You're just going to pin it onto where you want it on your skirt. It's better to maybe put on the skirt and then see where the pocket should be and how straight it should be. And then you're just going to want to sew along the edge, making sure to put some enforced back stitches up at the top to make sure it's really secure. Okay, you know things got serious because I put my hair up, but the last pocket is on there, and now it just needs a quick iron and it's done. It is, however, 11 o'clock at night, so I'll show you the full thing in the morning. See you then. Okay, so that was my blanket skirt. I'm not really good at taking videos of myself yet, but you know, they'll get better. But I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. This is actually one of my favorite things I've ever made for myself. I actually made it a few days ago and have been wearing it every day, and it's super cozy and super comfy, and I highly recommend everybody make themselves a blanket skirt. If you do make yourself a blanket skirt, please tag me on Instagram at Dano Does Things. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I put out new videos every Wednesday, crafting videos, sewing videos, all kinds of crafty things. Oh my God, I'm out of breath from twirling. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.